Well, good afternoon to you. This is your instructor, James, coming to you from what I call my fortress of solitude here at New Hope Christian Church, where I have the privilege of serving as a minister and have since 2008. Welcome to Bible 103. Um, this video is going to take you through the final capstone project, which you don't have the first part of that due until week 2, but I thought this would be a good time as we're getting rolling this week to kind of walk you through it. The information that I have access to here on my screen is available to you under the Assignments tab. Right here, we just simply click on that in the menu in Canvas, find the Final Capstone project, and click on that. You'll be able to see everything that we have here, along with your weekly reading, both in Scripture and from your textbook, The Drama of Scripture. And there will also be, from time to time, supplemental readings, which will be linked into each week's module. Along with that, you will be working your way through piece by piece to this final capstone project. What this is a collection of 6 elevator pitches based upon the 6 acts of God's story outlined in our text. Now, at the very outset, I always have a couple of students who, when working on this project, confuse the 6 acts of Scripture with chapters 1 through 6 in the book of Acts, the Acts of the Apostles in the New Testament. These are 2 different things, and whenever you're working on a capstone assignment, which I'll show you the individual capstone assignments here in just a moment. There may be some information, particularly in Act 5, which talks of the church. There may be some information that you'll pull or reference from the Acts of the Apostles, but we are talking about the 6 acts of God that are outlined in the Drama of Scripture textbook, which are creation, fall, Israel, Jesus, the church, and new creation. So we look at it this way. Creation, Genesis 1 and 2. The fall, Genesis 3 through 11. Israel, which that act of Scripture begins with the call of Abram in Genesis 12 and takes you, of course, to the end of what we call the Old Testament, Malachi. The next act, Act 4, of course, Jesus, and that covers the material in the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The next act, Act 5, goes from the Acts of the Apostles, though Jesus is definitely within the rest of the New Testament, the whole of Scripture, to be sure, but Acts all the way through until the penultimate chapters of Revelation, where in Revelation 21 and 22, we get new creation, new heavens, new earth, new Jerusalem, all of that. We're going to make our way through our textbook and through our Bibles, working our way toward that. Now, so I just want to make that clear here at the outset. I felt like it was good to take a little bit of time so that, and if you have any questions about that, again, feel free to reach out to me. Here to help you for sure. An elevator pitch is defined as a succinct and persuasive sales pitch. In other words, you rarely have very much time with somebody on an elevator, and so you only have a limited amount of time maybe to talk to them about something or convince them of something. The goal of this assignment or project is to create a persuasive and engaging retelling of the act of the biblical story, the whole what you're going to learn to call the meta narrative of the Bible. For the final capstone project, you are to compile all of the activities that you'll be doing beginning in week 2 into one document with the guidelines followed below. In addition, you should include an emphasis on how each act builds. We're going to build a bridge from one act to the other, right? And then it results, what will happen is a cohesive and progressive story of Scripture. Students, you should also include any suggestions for change from any feedback that I give you. The number one thing that I take off points for in the individual capstone activities are the lack of citations from your textbook and or the Bible. And I'm going to go through this. In-text citations are simply putting where in the book you got it from. You can just say drama, comma, put a comma there and page, and that will suffice. These are MLA format in-text citations, what are called parenthetical uh, uh, citations. That's the number one thing that I end up counting off for in the individual projects that you do. Okay, so we want to make sure to just go ahead and hit on that now. So if I give you, if I count off of that a couple of times, please be sure to start implementing the citations in from your textbook and from the Bible. Now, your final version, the guidelines are here on the screen. We'll go through them real quick. Each act should be summarized in 500 words, resulting in a 3,000 word paper. Your paper should be in Times New Roman. Some of the stuff that I've received from those of you that have gone ahead and turned in some work, a lot of times it's in Arial. It's probably in the default um, font that you have. But let's make sure to get our submissions in Times New Roman font, size 12, and double spaced. So again, Times New Roman, size 12, double spaced. And again, you should cite our textbook and other course resources using MLA format in text citations there again, just some parenthetical. Okay. You're going to be graded for college level grammar and syntax. Be sure to utilize a proofreader and or the online written lab at Point. And that I cannot recommend highly enough for you. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, this is the final project. What I'm going to do is I'm going to step back and just look at the first one of these assignments, which you'll have due next week. Okay. And it is on Act 2. All right. Um, what we have here, and it's actually Acts 1 and 2, that's a typo there. But in Act 2, we'll be focusing on Act 2 in the module. But this is it. We have some guiding questions for you here. And I am not going to be a stickler for grammar. This is kind of like building your notes. If you want to go ahead and refine it, the more work you do on these individual parts, the less work there'll be to do when you compile it together at the end of the course. So here are the questions, and each one of these assignments will have questions related to the acts. Now, in the first one, you're going to be covering Acts 1 and 2, creation and fall. Okay? I know you can read this and take the time to do this, and I know you've got a learning activity and a discussion topic for week 1 and some reading that you need to get to. So don't want to make this video any longer than it is. Grateful for you, grateful for the opportunity to be in this course with you. Again, my name's James. I myself am an alumnus of Point University and love the school and are so very glad that you are here and are a part of what's going on. Hey, again, reach out to me, james.shelton@point.edu, or you can email me here through Canvas, through the inbox in the email function here, okay? Thank you so much again for the opportunity to walk with you through this part of your journey at Point. God bless and hey, try to stay warm. You guys, well, I know we're spread out being an online community, but for those of you down in West Point, you're going to be getting some snow tomorrow. So hang in there. We'll talk to you guys later. God bless. Bye bye.